UConn hockey tickets. There's only a few more left, and we heard Santa Cow is on his way.
Yeah, we
20
heard
minutes away.
Santa Cow is on his way or her way. We don't know. We
Cows are female, right?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not.
Pretty sure we're all. No, you know that cows female. All cows.
They.
Thank
Oh my God.
you. All right, we get a ding from Kurt. Okay, yes. So Santa Cow, she will be here, and they will be here, and it will be fun for all. It'll be fun
All
for
right, so we had afternoon soccer, and Argentina will move on after beating Croatia 3-0. As you heard Anita Marks, she put her money on the wrong squad.
I'm with her. 3-0.
3-0. Messi. Thank you, Mike.
Got another cookie.
Mike is stuffing us
Dude,
with
so
some great
stuffed.
food here at Chick-fil-A, and that's what your family can expect here, just great food from Chick-fil-A on Queen Street. Listen, Lionel Messi is one of the best on the planet, and he has been his entire career. No exception today as they move on now, and now you've got France, and France and Morocco, shockingly, moved on from the last round, and they continue on, and that's coming up tomorrow. So that'll be on right before we go on the air.
2:00 Eastern time, France, Morocco. I really like the goal that Morocco scored, even though I root Portugal, big-time Ronaldo fan. Still mad about that he got a bench.
Maybe
for
you
2
should
games.
have played him.
Yeah, maybe. Have we
Kinda
fired that
cussed
coach
ya.
yet? Have we fired that coach? I don't
sure
know
that's
how it
soon
works
to
in
come.
soccer. I know if this was football Norte Americana, that dude wouldn't have got on the plane. But the Morocco goal was brilliant. I mean, I know the words highest point from football. And when you're going up against a defensive back or vice versa, defensive back receiver, you want to go get it at its highest point. Same thing for heading the ball in soccer. And that Moroccan who got up there. That dude probably could dunk a basketball. That's how athletic the move was to get that head on the ball to get that point. And that's all they needed. I don't know if they can beat France. And I'm like Anita. I do watch soccer.
Don't count them out. They're not the United States.
I do watch soccer all the time, but it's only the Hartford Athletic, basically, in the USL Pro leagues. But I don't dip in the Premier Leagues like a friend John Gallo or all the other guys that go Bundesliga crazy. But one thing I know is France is awesome.
France is very good.
France
All right,
is
let's
good.
go over Week 14 in the NFL. It just ended last night with a huge win for the New England Patriots that makes them 7-6, puts them ahead, as you said, ahead of the New York Jets right now in their hopes of a playoff berth. But over the week and weekend, with Thursday night, obviously the Vegas and the Rams was unbelievable with Baker Mayfield. I did not know this. Kirk Cousins threw for 425 yards in a losing effort against the Detroit Lions. Justin Jefferson, 223 yards receiving.
Offense was
that guy
not the problem.
continues
Yeah.
to have an unbelievable time. No, offense is not the problem.
Offense was not
Defense
the problem.
was the problem with the Minnesota Vikings. The 40 points a couple weeks ago with my Dallas Cowboys, and they were only able to manage 3 on the offensive side. But, yeah, they're giving up way too much yardage, and the Detroit Lions have won 5 out of their last 6. They're on a nice little run right there, getting themselves back into playoff contention.
Yeah. I like Jared Goff right now. I think that dude's playing some of his best
And good
ball.
for him, man.
Good
he kind of
for
got
him.
the
Oh, you think?
short end of the
Oh, you
stick.
think?
He gets dumped into Detroit.
No Super Bowl ring.
And no Super Bowl ring. And Matthew Stafford gets paroled after about 14 years or 12 years in Detroit, and he wins a Super Bowl. But, hey, now this guy's got an opportunity. He's finally got things clicking the right way in Detroit. And they look like they're going in the right direction, and I'm happy for Dan Campbell.
I'm a Campbell fan.
A lot of people wanted to run him out early in the season. I mean, sometimes it takes time for teams to come together, and you got that Hutchinson out of Michigan, that defensive end.
He's been playing great.
And he has been playing amazing, and the defense has been playing amazing. And, listen, they're a much better football team here in Week 14 than they were earlier in the season.
Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, had to look it up. Did not know who that guy was. He's been doing an excellent job all season long, along with Jared Goff, understanding the offense. but also like spreading the ball around to playmakers. He has so many different people running the football, led by Jamal Williams. So many people catching the football, led by Arnold St. Brown. But this dude is coming up with game plans that are so unique every single week. That's why Minnesota is confused on defense, is because they don't have one like Saquon Barkley they got to lock on, or one just style of play that you've got to watch out for. There's a bunch of different things happening with this Detroit offense. I'm excited about this. Is wild to say. This is why it's a weird year in the NFL. I can't believe these words are about to come out of my mouth. I'm looking forward to the Detroit Lion New York Jet game.
Oh, yeah.
Late in
Absolutely.
the season.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever said that.
Where we would never be thinking that. But both teams will be fighting for a playoff opportunity. So, yeah, that'll be a huge game coming up. Another guy that we've taken shots at the last couple of years, Trevor Lawrence.
Playing great.
Playing great. Jacksonville has been playing much better. They defeated Tennessee 36-22. He threw for nearly 400 yards. Evan Ingram, who never really got going as a New York Giant, has been on fire down there. And I know this because in the fantasy football world,
of course,
this guy is one of the top 4 scorers through Week 14. And who knew Evan Ingram would be a top pick now going into next season. So, I mean, yeah, some serious changing of some of these teams has helped a lot of these guys. New venue.
Jacksonville squandered some early games. They should have beat Houston early in the season where they lose 13-6. I do believe that's the Texans' only win on the year. They lost the game to the Indianapolis Colts in Indy where they were winning almost the entire game until the very single end. The next week they lose to the Giants on some bogus stuff that should not have happened. Then they give the Denver Broncos one of their few wins. Then they started to put it together a little bit. They've been off and on, but inconsistent. I do think the new head coach, Pedersen, has been doing a great job with this young quarterback. And all the team, the whole team's kind of come together. Zay Jones has been a really good receiver for Trevor Lawrence as well. I just wish they would have won a couple of more of those games because it would have been nice to see Trevor Lawrence in the playoffs and this young team in the playoffs.
Hey, 5-8 right now, I think that's a huge improvement. And,
for this franchise.
Yeah, and first-year coach Peterson, I mean, obviously a lot of people didn't know what he would do when he got there. But, again, give this guy some credit. It took him some time. It's the same thing with Josh McDaniels with the Raiders right now. Raiders win again, and people are like, well, what's going on with the Raiders? Listen, the Raiders just are a much different football team than they were 5 weeks ago, and it just takes some time. Health-wise, sometimes it's getting some healthy players back.
This is my biggest knock on college football playoffs, especially with 4 teams. It's like you lose the first 2 weeks of the season and you're done. But you could finish 10-2 and become a completely different team than you were back in August or September when you played those first games. And in the NFL, the one good thing, because I'm not a fan of the 17 weeks. I think we should be 16 weeks, and I think we're just trying to spoil it with adding another week to make more money, and I got it. But
a lot of injuries could possibly happen.
A lot of injuries. It becomes more of a battle of attrition, but at least it gives some teams, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the Detroit Lions, a few weeks to figure it out. And they can go on a hot streak, start winning, and actually make the playoffs where they have a chance to win it all.
Remember the Carolina Panthers taking out Seattle?
Kurt doesn't want us to talk about this.
No, because that was his survivor
Kurt
pick.
Doesn't want to talk about this.
Listen, I think there's so much more parity in football, as we have talked about from week to week. In the NFC East, all teams have winning record. In the AFC East, all the teams have winning records.
Yeah.
Last year, the NFC East was terrible. It was like nobody wanted to win that division. And now look at the Philadelphia Eagles are one of the best teams in football. And so what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, those least divisions are now beast divisions, and the ones that are crappy that they're feasting off is both the South divisions. AFC South, Tennessee is going to waltz into the playoffs. And they're not looking good right now. I mean, their last couple of weeks have been atrocious on offense, and Vrabel is scratching his head for questions. Too many early first-half turnovers have been their demise.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to possibly win the NFC South. I think everybody and their mom wants to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round. I know they've got Tom Brady. I understand that. But they could be walking in the playoffs at an 8-9 record.
Worst rushing team in football.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah. Worst rushing team in football, cannot run
Not
the ball.
surprised.
You're putting it all on the shoulders of a 45-year-old guy that sacrificed an awful lot to play this football
I
season.
left my
Let's just
wife
put
for
it that
this.
That's right. I left my wife for this tour. If he were like the lead singer of the Rolling Stones, he'd probably be excited because he'd be out there having a lot more fun. But he's not. He's a quarterback, and he's taking some beatings.
He's the opening act for the cover band of the Rolling Stones. He thought this tour would be really fun, but it turns out to not be. What about true contenders, man? True contenders.
I don't know. Can you say the 49ers are true contenders?
That's the one I was going to ask you about. That's the one I'm going to ask you about. I like him.
I like him, but when Deebo Samuel went down and he could possibly be out for an extended period of time, I still think they're a great football team. Defensively, they're one of the best teams in football. Let's see. They've got the Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders, Cardinals. Very easy. I don't want to say easy. Very light schedule. Winnable schedule. At least 3 of those 4 remaining games.
Yes. However, we have seen this before, and his name is Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, the same team, Dibs. The same team.
You know what? He had a Liz Frank injury. They thought he was going to have surgery. He's not.
Well, last
year,
he's
going to tough it out.
We were saying the same stuff. You think the 49ers can make it to the Super Bowl? Not with Jimmy Garoppolo. And look at them. That's exactly what they did. I would not be surprised. What does Tim Brando say, Kurt? Don't be surprised if you're shocked. Don't be surprised if you're shocked that the 49ers actually win the big kahuna.
Who do you like in the AFC? Who's the best team?
I hope my Uncle Ron in Buffalo
are not listening because you're not going to say Buffalo. I can't believe it, man.
And I'm going to say the team they don't want me to say.
Kansas City.
I love watching Patrick Mahomes play.
Mahomes can play football.
I don't care if you take Clyde Edwards-Helaire away. I don't care if you take Tyreek Hill away. I don't care if Andy Reid is taking a week off. I don't care if Bieniemy's not going to call the plays. Patrick Mahomes
will find a way.
He will find a way to win the game, or at least keep you in the football game. I mean, I still go back to that AFC Championship, or the game before the AFC Championship with Buffalo, where they come down on 2 plays and make it a tie ball game and go back and win. Like, this dude is just unique in everything that he does. It feels like a combination of Mike Leach high IQ offense mixed in with, oh, man, nobody's doing the right thing, Pop Warner football. And it works to perfection almost every single week. Their defense is shaky. I didn't like how Denver was scoring at will on Kansas City last week. But, man, I find flaws in Josh Allen's game. And I love Josh Allen, but I find some flaws in his game. It's hard for me to find flaws with Patrick Mahomes. And if Kelsey is healthy and if McKinnon is playing at the clip he's been playing and the defense can keep him at bay, I think Kansas City can win.
I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati Bengals.
I like them too.
They've won 7 of their last 8. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 3 times in this calendar year of 2022, and they seem to be the only kryptonite to Kansas City. So you love Kansas City. I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals. And a lot of it because my wife had really never had a football team, and now she's a Bengals fan.
Burrow.
She's a Joe Burrow lover, and so God love her. She loves the kid. He's got the Cartier glasses on.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's
the
just
cigars.
No, he's kind of a hot dog.
He is but he doesn't
kind
have
of married a hot dog, so she's
true.
I think he's the younger version.
You guys are kind of a bit alike. I mean, both with the Cincinnati Pro careers.
He's got a better arm.
I don't know,
Dibs.
Wow. Are you sure about that?
Okay, maybe
if we're the same age, are you sure about that?
I'm trying to be humble.
I don't know. I ain't taking that bet. The one reason I like them is not Joe Burrow, but Cincinnati is their linebacking core. I can't say enough about
their
that.
Defense.
Logan Thomas is everywhere. The defense is so underrated in this league, so underrated. And they did keep Patrick Mahomes.
I like this Hendrickson dude on the right end is a nutbag. Logan Wilson is out of control.
Wilson. I always call him Tom. I get my Logans mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Logan Wilson, yeah.
Von Bell has been tremendous. Jermaine Pratt is a great inside linebacker. So, yeah, they got some bad dudes. They got some nasty dudes on that Bengals team.
Here's a wild card for you in the AFC. What if Lamar comes back?
I think that they're 9-4 too, so they're a very good football team. They continue to win football games.
Great deal.
John Harbaugh doesn't get enough love. Like Mike Tomlin, great head coaches. They've been around for a long time. and doesn't get enough credit, even when he's got some injured players or a weaker team. Seems to get them to continue to win.
I don't know how much the difference, honestly, will be. You probably know better than me because you spent more time in Kansas City than I have. I may have been in well, no, you played in Buffalo for a little while. Both places in playoff time are going to be freezing. It's going to be brutal.
I love
wind.
cold myself, so
I just don't see an advantage for Kansas City or Buffalo having to go to one place or the other. But the rest of the teams,
did you hear about the game with the Dolphins this past week? It was 50 degrees, and they had their heaters on. They were freezing cold.
Yeah.
They've got to go to Buffalo this week, where it's going to be 20 and below.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that game 3 times in the last 4 years in Miami. It's apparent. Like, there's – you'll have some linemen that love it, but you will have wide receivers that are in the ninja suits and totally gloved up, double socks, and with the muff, the hand muff warmer.
Yeah.
Their hands will be in there before the ball's even snapped. You'll know if it's a run or a pass just looking at the receiver's demeanor when they walk to the football. Yeah, Bart Scott called this a couple of weeks ago when he was talking to all these Miami Dolphin fans off the Super Bowl bandwagon and was saying, listen, the weeks are going to get colder, and they're going to have to go to Buffalo, and it just everyone in the league has seen it. When you're in the tropics the whole time, you go there, it's not the same.
They're going to freeze their you-know-what's off the last 4 weeks. They go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Well, the Packers go to them. Then they go to New England to play the Patriots.
Nice.
So then the Jets go down to Florida. So half of their games will be in Miami. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We were joined earlier on the show by Bobby Joyce. Bob Joyce does women's basketball and men's hockey and football. He will join us next, and we'll talk some UConn sports and Myrtle Beach Bowl against Marshall coming up on the 19th. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell live from Chick-Fil-A on Queen Street in Southington, and we'll be right back with Bob Joyce.